Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome to this Wednesday, August 27th, regular council meeting. It is a lovely day outside. I think that summer has graced us at the end of the season, and I'm excited for hopefully the next couple weeks of sunshine. So thank you all for coming today. I will call our meeting to order at 9:02 a.m., and I'll ask everyone to stand for the singing of our national anthem.
Oh, Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all of us command. Car ton bras est pour Philippines. L'histoire est une épopée des plus brillants exploits. Qui voilà, glorious century.
Are there any additions to the agenda this morning?
Good morning, Madam Mayor, members of council. Administration asks for the addition of 10.1 council calendars, September and October.
Perfect. 10.1 council calendars. Are there any other additions to the agenda this morning? Is there a member of council that would like to approve the agenda with the addition of 10.1 council calendars for the August 27th, 2025 regular meeting of council? Councilor Kamana, thank you very much. All in favor? That is carried. Are there any corrections or amendments to the August 13th, 2025 regular meeting of council minutes, bylaw 2025-06D, municipal development plan amendments to future land use map public hearing minutes, bylaw 2025-05D, amendment to land use bylaw. This was for the redistricting of the Southeast 1949-7 west of the 5th Meridian public hearing minutes, or for bylaw 2025-07D, and that was for the redistricting of the Northeast 1549-7 west of the 5th public hearing minutes. Is there a member of council that would like to accept these as, approve these as? Councilor Evans, thank you very much for that. All in favor? That is carried. We have no proclamations, no public hearings. We do have two delegations this morning. First up is 6.1, Leanne Eshelman, a letter of support for a request. Good morning, Leanne, and come on down to the podium. Welcome. You're welcome. Just make sure that your mic is on there. Is that good, Nathan?
Press the button. Oh, yes, check, check. Is that better?
Yeah.
Hello?
Perfect. Good morning and welcome. And just go ahead with your presentation and then we'll ask some questions after.
Okay, good morning, Mayor Dodds and members of council. Thank you for the opportunity to be here with you today. The vision that I'm presenting today started here in Drayton Valley. When I shared it with Premier Smith just a week ago, she immediately connected it to two priorities. Number one, youth unemployment in the province of Alberta, and the CALM curriculum, which is currently being rewritten. Before I share more, let me show you what's already happening here in Drayton Valley. There should be a video.
Hi, my name is is Leanne Eshelman from Drayton Valley, Alberta. I'm a registered nurse and I've worked here for 25 years. I recently started an oil field company called Better Way Health and Safety. Better Way Health and Safety is here to provide young people with professional training that allows them to be confident and competent in their skills. I believe that every student should be able to graduate from high school with a first aid certificate. I hear many stories of people's experiences, and one of them that really struck me was a 12-year-old boy who was out camping with their family, and unfortunately his dad suffered a heart attack and he had to perform first aid on his dad. The only point of reference that he had was what he'd seen on TV. Another man had a cardiac arrest and his children had to perform CPR on him. The only thing worse than having to perform CPR on a loved one is not knowing how to perform CPR on a loved one. I believe that this is knowledge that everybody should have. The systems that are in place for teaching first aid are so important because it doesn't matter what level of first aid is being taught. It doesn't matter whether the person's taking basic first aid, intermediate first aid, or whether they're an advanced care paramedic. The system is going to be the same. And it's so important that our young people learn the system and that they have confidence coming out of their first aid class, that they know what to do if they're ever faced with an emergency. So I'm asking today that this becomes a priority to everyone who hears this. My message is clear. First aid needs to be in the schools. People need to graduate with this necessary information. As a nurse, I find that it's a wonderful opportunity to teach people the skill of providing first aid and even performing the skill of CPR. As somebody who's performed CPR on many occasions, I understand the need to be able to teach people good information. Having first aid in schools should have happened many years ago. So many of us just never noticed that it was missing. But today, I'm drawing attention to a need that we have in our communities. What better way to invest than in our young people and in the next generation? Drayton Valley has already led the way in this. We've already trained 90 students in intermediate first aid, allowing these students to have confidence when it comes to dealing with emergencies and to be able to enter the workforce immediately upon graduation. At the end of our time together, my favorite thing is to see how the young people have found their voice and they've been able to become decision makers in an instant. They know the steps to take and they know how to save a life if they're ever called upon. I really want your help today. I'm asking you to bring this to the forefront. I'm asking that you would bring visibility to this need that's in our communities. I'm looking for leaders who are willing to get behind this project and make it a priority. Our current vision is to be able to replicate what we've done so far and be able to reach hundreds of students through our sponsorship program. In the coming years, what we're really looking for and our ultimate goal is to see this become a part of our core curriculum across Alberta.
So I recently pitched this idea to the Premier, and when I shared it with her, she responded immediately, very positively, and she highlighted two things herself. This could be a part of the solution to our youth unemployment, which, by the way, as of right now, Alberta is the highest in Canada, between the ages of 15 to 24 years old. And she also said that this would align with our COM curriculum, which is currently being rewritten as a potential core skill. That's the level of attention that this idea is already receiving, and it started here in Drayton Valley. My story is that I've spent 30 years as a registered nurse, usually in the healthcare setting, but most recently some in the oil field, which got me out on the pipeline and on the frac sites, and I admired and appreciated our community all the more. Having grown up in an oil field family, a farming family and an oil field family, the magnitude of what goes on behind the scenes just really encouraged me. And I started this health and safety company picturing myself going out to the rig camps and where I noticed there was a gap in service, and I recognized that we would be in the rig camps and knowing that there's a drug crisis and there's mental health challenges and there were no services on the wall, nothing that these people could be doing. So I pictured myself going out there. So that's why I got a lifted truck and thought I'd be out on the back roads. And I no sooner started than I realized that there's a bigger gap, and that's in our young people. And there's this huge gap because one of the oil field workers that I know, he owns 5 companies, and he said to me, you know, when I get resumes or applications, the students who have first aid, theirs goes to the top of the pile and everybody else goes to the bottom of the pile. And I immediately thought this needs to change. And I had never noticed that it was a problem because my kids were in first aid through swimming lessons, and they were lifeguards. So it never was something that was highlighted to me. And then I realized as I began to teach in the high schools that there's so many kids who don't have this opportunity, their parents can't afford to send them, and they'll never have a resume that goes to the top of the pile. And so I began to teach in the schools. I went to see the principals of our local high schools and the high school I grew up in Valley View, Alberta, and I said, would you allow me to teach your students for free? They all said yes and jumped on board. And so we've had this wonderful opportunity to get in there and to help the students to feel positive about their skills, to feel confidence, and also to we're providing intermediate first aid, which it's better than basic first aid. It's more in depth, and it covers the things that are vitally important, not just CPR, but what do you do in a diabetic emergency, which is becoming so prevalent? What do you do in the case of a seizure or anaphylaxis? And so and then the last chapter, which I believe is super important right now, is a mental health chapter, and that's included in intermediate first aid. And so to begin these 2 days with these students, it's really about finding their voice. And at the end of the 2 days, it's really about being able to offer themselves because they know what to do, both for themselves and for others. And as a healthcare worker for such a long time, I experienced an episode of post-traumatic, and I know what that's like, that people who work in the people industry really need to be able to care for themselves. So that's part of what I offer with the students, is really a holistic approach. And the focus on health and safety is not about checking boxes and being able to be in compliance. It's about really focusing on what is health. How do we take care of ourselves? How do we take care of our community? And how do we take care of one another? And that's the goal of Better Way Health and Safety, because these students, if we were able to offer this across the province on a very large scale, we would all have safer communities just because of the increased knowledge. So that's my pitch today. I'm asking already if I could just mention our founding sponsors that we've had already. The first one was in Valley View, Alberta, in my hometown, at an oil field company shop called Perron Ventures, and they sponsored the first class, and that's where the idea was born. And after that, I came back to Drayton Valley. And Steve Benson at Bob Dale Services, he jumped on board right away. He was the first one to believe in my company and in the kids. He just said, we'll do anything for the kids, and come back again next year when you do this. The next one were Matt Schultz and Jaden Hashi over at Boss Energy. The next ones were Mark and Candace Gerard, and Dennis and Candace Gerard, and Mark and Dion Gerard from Dark Hay Enterprises. And from there, we had Hayduck Ventures, or Hayduck Picker Services and Hayduck Rentals, and the Hayduck family. And from there, we had, just recently, we taught last week in the Kickstand, and we had Big Bite Services sponsor that class, as well as Kickstand, operated by the PCN, as you know, and sponsored by them, as well as Family Services in Drayton Valley. And I'd also like to thank the town of Drayton Valley, who had me in at our own Mackenzie Center, and I had taught a full class of students there for the town. And so I just believe we've been partnering together already. We're making this happen, and it's the right thing to do. And it's always the right time to do the right thing for our students. We owe it to them, I believe. Thank you for your time.
Wow, thank you. Great video and great presentation. Thank you so much for coming this morning.
Thank you.
What a great opportunity that you're offering to the youth. It's absolutely fantastic. I agree with so many things that you said about, the importance of first aid at a young age and in our schools. So thank you for that. I will open it up for questions from council to you. Any questions this morning? Councillor Kamana?
Sure, thank you. Yeah, no, I agree with Mayor Dott's comments there. This is a great initiative. I think from the start, you've come leaps and bounds ahead already. So it's great to see that this is happening in our community. I guess I'm sure, everybody else will ask the same question. So it's about how we can help more, right? So if you want to go to the next step, how as the town we can help you.
Yeah, so I really appreciate a letter of recommendation would be wonderful. I'm trying to get myself ready and prepared to present to the Minister of Education. And in doing so, that's going to require a lot of support from many associations and locally, but across the province. So any open doors that you could make happen for me, that you can think of that I may not have thought of, would be wonderful. And also, really at my core is that our local sponsors, that you'd find a way that I could thank them more. The students, they're leaning into this, and they are so thankful. But how can we say thanks appropriately? And how can we say thanks to sponsors moving forward? I'm not a not-for-profit, so they're not getting a deductible receipt. So there's that. I'm looking at the schools as far as donations. If it's offered through the schools, possibly that can be something that's offered down the road. I'm just exploring all my options, but I think mostly if we can say thank you to our Drayton Valley community, any PR that there is for these wonderful people that have believed in our young people.
Any other questions? So I do have a couple questions in regards to some of this. So you said that you present it to the Premier, which is absolutely fantastic to get her on board. So I guess what you'd have to do is your goal is to change, or would this be an addition to the core curriculum? That's what you're kind of after, or?
Yeah, currently the COM curriculum is being rewritten, and so she mentioned that herself. I was aware that it was being rewritten as I have spoken to the principals and some school board trustees. So I'm hoping that by presenting it to the Premier that it will already have gained traction in that area. So the COM curriculum currently, I think there may be a pilot that's coming out this year, and then the following year it's supposed to be rolled out, to my knowledge. But I'll have to be reinvestigating that more. It's quite new that idea has come to me, and so I'm going to be working on that. There could be other opportunities if we're too late for that, but I think since the Premier mentioned it, she's probably already on it. And MLA Boychenko has mentioned that it's been mentioned since that time in her gatherings, that she's mentioned first aid and potentially other certificates. So I think that it's really addressing this unemployment as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And then also, have you presented to the school boards?
I have not yet.
Are you planning on?
I'm going through any open door I can get. Yes.
Good, yeah, because it would be nice to get them on board and get that support too, right? The more, I
Yes.
think, letters that you can get, as well as Brazeau County, have you presented to?
I'll be there next week.
Okay,
Yes.
good. Yeah, I think the more letters of support that you can get, you
Yeah.
know, to build your case, this is important. I think we all can recognize that. And I think, you know, when it comes to, you know, education, K to 12, you know, we look at the basics, math, science, and all that. It's all important. But I think, you know, you hear from so many parents and teachers that it's also important to be teaching, you know, youth about mental health, about finance, and about safety, right? Like those are very important. So thank you for,
Yeah.
you know, having the courage and driving this and, you know, moving this forward. I'm not quite sure, maybe this can be a little bit of a conversation between council and administration. We do have an education portfolio that I'm quite passionate about, and we've expanded on training and education opportunities here. So maybe, you know, I don't know if this is something that could fit in there, or we could maybe explore at least.
To Madam Chair and all of council, I can work with Ms. Eshman on how that could possibly be arranged. I think, just for clarification, you're generally planning to offer this, when you offer it to students in school, you offer it in the school environment?
It's whatever the principals are requesting, because if it's in the school environment, then they need somebody there. So here, both of our Catholic school and our Frank Maddock have asked me to do it in their class, and they're willing to join together. And I'm also going to be meeting with the charter school principal as well this week.
So we can work together on how this could be added to that portion of things.
Or what type, I guess, of additional support outside of the letter? Like I was even thinking when you said not-for-profit, right? Like, I don't know if there's grants or funding or something that sometimes you need, you know, maybe if there was a municipality or you would need help, and, you know, it's very early, so it might be something we could help explore.
That's wonderful. I do have one other thought. There's a paramedic in the north, and I've wanted to expand this especially in our rural communities and past Drayton Valley, because I believe I'll be able to cover this region up to Rocky Mountain House and then down across, especially in our oil field, because these students needed to get a job here, and it just seems backwards to me that it's 2025 and we can do all of these things, but the basic foundational requirement for a student to get a job in the oil field is not met. And it's already an expense for the oil field companies. Many of them have to do that already. It wastes their time, and then they're paying for it. And then often, they're paying for it twice because they may have to, maybe somebody leaves and they get their tickets and then they're left with the bill. So if we can capture this for every student, especially in the oil field, and all the way up into the north. There's a paramedic that I've asked if he was willing to jump on board, and he said, yes, I can cover the whole north piece. So, which is all the way up from Fairview down to Valley View, so we would meet there. And so I would love an introduction or some sort of recommendation where maybe I can speak with MLA Todd Lowen. I have left a message with MLA Nolan Dick to see if he's open to Grand Prairie, to having some, I just believe if we can get hundreds or, 1,000 in the next coming months, that this is bigger than Drayton Valley, but it would start here.
Ms. Whaley?
Madam Chair, if it was fine with the delegate, we could CC the letter of support to the Premier to amend the Career and Life Management Program to all MLAs in Alberta, at which point you would then have literally reached anyone who's currently sitting in the provincial government.
Well, sky's the limit. I'll walk through any open door that you open for me with
Yeah, that's a great
gratitude.
idea. Yeah, we could do that, and then that way it's more support, right, for that, for sure. And then, what was my other question here? So you are going to be presenting, your intentions are to Brazeau County, school boards, things like that. We can discuss a letter of recommendation after our delegations, any business arising from here. And currently, right now, kids are going back to school next week. Do you have any training that's happening in the coming months?
I will be for sure. I will have to work with the principals. What I've done so far is the blended course. So the first day is online. And so they set up somebody for me to be a point person in their school who will ensure that the blended portion is, that they've registered, it's been successful, and that they've completed it. And then I come in and do the practical, which is day 2, so it only requires 1 day. That sometimes may be an obstacle for some who just don't have the resources other than just showing up. And for those students, I would be happy to do the 2-day course on a weekend or on a PD day. I also will be presenting to the Star Catholic School in November. I was booked months ago by the vice principal to take their teachers through on their PD day.
Oh, wow, great,
Yes.
fantastic. Well, wonderful. Well, thank you very much for your presentation. Thank you for offering this service to the youth in our community and throughout Alberta. I think it's absolutely a fantastic program. And, thank you to all the sponsors that are supporting you along the way and helping with this. And I'm sure you'll have many, many more that'll buy into this for sure. So we will talk, we do have one more delegation, and then we can talk about the letter of recommendation and support for you as well.
Beautiful. Thank you all for your time.
Thank you so much. Next up, we have 6.2 for our delegations this morning. This is the Yellowhead Regional Library, and they will be presenting the 2024 annual report to us this morning. Good morning and welcome. Just be sure that the green light is on.
Green light's on? Yeah, it's still on, thank
perfect.
goodness.
Thank you.
Okay, yeah, we've been told. Welcome, great to see you all. It's been a while since we've been in front of council here. I'm Hank from Hinton. I am the board chair of YRL and a very good friend of Hans here. So it's good to see him smiling still. That's something he still does constantly, even when bad things happen to him. So that's a good thing. But anyways, today we're here to talk about what we do for Drayton Valley. And so beside me, I have our executive director, Carla Palachuk. And together we're going to quickly do a 20-minute presentation within the 10-minute time restraints. So it might go a little faster than normal. Okay, so just be prepared. I'll start with Carla. Carla can lead.
Thanks, Hank. So Yellowhead exists in order to provide services to our member libraries so that these libraries can act as a community hub for your municipality. And we do have a graphic, which is on the screen, that outlines some of these things that, because we exist, your libraries can focus on. So this include things like being able to work with community, being able to support reading, writing, and understanding, providing support to health and wellness resources that tie in very nicely to the delegation that we just heard, to offer local programs and workshops, to select materials that are representative of the needs in your community, to support job growth, job skill development, and job resources, and to support local collections and events. All of these resources, we are there to provide the support, the guidance, and the infrastructure to support your library in working with community.
Well, the next one, libraries help us to enable access to information ideas. This means that Google does not have all the answers. Just ask a librarian, and they'll be able to help you find information that's much more relevant to what you need an answer to, okay? And of course, equitable access is definitely important when it comes to internet, and for as well as our computer systems. Well, actually, yours at Drayton Valley here, which is connected to our SuperNet, which is also we also support the library's computers through technical means as well. So again, of course, in everything as you get older, especially with myself, embrace lifelong learning. If you're not learning, you're dying. So keep yourself learning. Okay, libraries are essential for economic development, support career and job training, and strengthen community connections. One of the examples I like to give is the one from my hometown. And 2 years ago, we got a special grant from PLSB, which is Municipal Affairs, to create a study room specifically for red seal things, for basically oil and gas, as well as forestry and mining, of course, which is big in our area. And what that meant is that we had to make negotiations and contracts with both NAIT and SAIT on this, which means that they do not need to travel the 3 hours from Hinton to Edmonton to NAIT to do their testing. They could do their testing right within the library itself, and which is proctored by us. And so, again, maybe this is something that, well, we just had the safety lady here, so again, that may be something that can also be done as well when it comes to training. So again, that's something I really appreciate that we've had, and it's been used quite extensively by the mine for sure in Hinton, okay? Of course, we celebrate community connections and of course, literacy.
So normally we would also spend a lot of time talking about our 2023 to 2025 strategic plan, but we are now approaching Q4, and this is the final quarter in our final year of our present plan. So we are on track to achieve what we had wanted to achieve in terms of helping our libraries be hubs for community and learning and connection. We spend a lot of time providing training, support, and resources to the library staff in communities so that they are knowledgeable and up to date with the skills that they need. We ensure that we have quality information and resources. We have staff that are dedicated to ensuring that the type of resources that we can offer through online means, be it educational resources, ebooks, e-audiobooks, are of quality and not AI generated, or of dubious distinction. We share our knowledge and skills as much as we can. Our staff at Yellowhead are frequently invited to speak at conferences or in workshops or at the university or at MacEwan. We also share our resources openly and freely with any library board that needs support. And we have also been able to provide staff on project-based requirements when library boards have found themselves in crisis. All of that, and the board also looks at themselves as an employer to ensure that Yellowhead is continued to be an excellent place to work. And this can be measured by the fact that we are certified as a living wage employer. So how does Yellowhead support Drayton Valley? We enable your residents to access hundreds of thousands of resources that you just simply could not afford to access on your own. And that is because of the economies of scale and the relationships that we have built over time. In our 2024 annual report, there is one number in here that really irritates me, and that is that we only delivered 1.9 million items to the local communities that we support. So if anybody tells you that physical items or print is dead, it is not, because we moved 1.9 million items, print items, to the libraries in 1 year. We are well on track to exceed 2 million items this year. We would have exceeded it last year, but we had 2 libraries that were in temporary locations and weren't ordering as much as they typically do and weren't bringing in as much as they typically do. So, but for Edson, we would have exceeded 2 million items. We also spend a lot of time doing training, tech support, and our access into our catalog, which was 1.8 million visits in 1 year. So libraries are heavily used institutions and continue to be a focal point for communities. So our 2025 priorities, we have a brand new strategic plan starting in 2026, but we are still focused on what we need to achieve for 2025. And a big part of that is cybersecurity issues. You might have been aware of the attacks against Toronto Public Library, Calgary Public Library, Halifax Public Library. The list goes on and on and on. So in order to mitigate this and any risk to your community, any risk to Yellowhead, we have taken over management of the public computers to ensure that they've been updated, that they are supported, and that they are protected, so that when customers leave your library, they're automatically refreshed, all the personal data is wiped, the system is checked to make sure that nobody installed anything on there that they shouldn't have, and it's hit reset to 0. And we can manage all of this now from Spruce Grove. We are supporting the costs of this as well. We know that our systems are working right now, knock wood, because at the last long weekend, we successfully turned away 4 brute force attacks. And that is, for us, significant. So they know that we exist, and we are doing everything in our power to prevent that and to protect the network. We're also doing this through education of the library managers and supporting them and educating the public about what not to do on a public computer. We are also, part of this also includes training and support for the library staff in order to help manage things like their collections. We provide in-house workshops, in-house training, virtual training, and we also have what is rapidly becoming the premier conference for libraries in the province. It's called Stronger Together. It's in October. It is, if you haven't seen it, let me know. We will let you know about the cost of it, which is, I think, under $200 for registration for a 2-day conference, including meals. It does not include your accommodations, though. We have to cap it at 500 people because of space limitations. Last year, in our first year offering this, we had 442 registrations. So we're rapidly approaching saturation point on that. But it's an excellent conference. If you'd like to know more, just ask Rebecca at the library or Hank or myself.
Next, of course, is return on investment. I'll ask you to just go to the next slide as much as possible. Levies. Levies, of course, is a ways of how we collect money for our membership, which comes from Drayton Valley. We have a signed MMA with Drayton Valley's council stating exactly what we do, and that's listed underneath our website if you'd like to look at that. One thing I'd like to say, which I haven't really said before, is that we are half as much as our next closest region. Parkland is over, I believe it's around $9 per cap, and we are at $4.85 next year for our levies. And so what that does is your guys are getting a heck of a good deal on what we did. But the reason of that, of course, are the times of trouble, which I like to talk, which happened in 2006 and 7, which made us well, this is before my time or Carla's time, not increase our levies for 11 years. This is we can't keep this up. Right now we are using a lot. We have two streams of money that come in. One is from the levies that we charge to member municipalities, and the other one is our operating grant we get straight from municipal affairs. What's happening right now is about 12 to 13% of what we get for administration from municipal affairs is overriding on this side of the legislative service for our communities. And so this means that we are substantially using our reserves, especially last year, this year, and next year, to help offset some of the cost. But since there is, how can I say, a limit to what we have in reserves, this cannot continue this way. So we are opening next year and great discussions on a substantial increase, which means we do need to open up our master membership agreement, which means that you guys will have to vote stating that this is acceptable or not acceptable. And so I'd like to give you well in advance warning that this is coming down. I don't know what it's going to look like. This is something that we are negotiating with the executive at this time. And so moving forward, just be prepared. There might be quite a substantial increase, which again, you will vote on. So you'll know well in advance on this, okay?
I would like to clarify what we mean by substantial increase. It would be 85 cents per capita maximum. So that would be either divided out into 3 years or 4 years. I don't know because that's up to the board. The board will direct me on what they want to do and how much it will be. But it won't be any more than 85 cents per capita. This year, we're going with a 2% increase proposed, which is about, it's an extra $20,000 for Yellowhead total, and that is about 25 cents per capita increase, if that. So if we look at the next slide, you would have also been sent as part of your package our annual report and a return on investment statement that we've been providing. Drayton Valley provides us with $29,979 in 2024. We provide back to the library $9,281 that they can use to buy books and materials with. But the overall cost avoidance for Drayton Valley in terms of technology support, what we pay for in terms of the internet connection, the Office 365 licenses, interlibrary loan software, the library software, all the training, kits, materials, is over $800,000 of value or cost avoidance, which means that for every $1 invested in Yellowhead returns for the residents of Drayton Valley $31.98. For that, your citizens have access to over 3 million items, print items, over almost 1 million digital items, and the broadband access through SuperNet and through Wi-Fi, which is what Yellowhead also supports. Okay.
I think that's it. We are open to questions.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for your presentation. Any questions this morning? Councillor Evans?
Nice work getting through that presentation quickly and efficiently. Thank you. And also thanks for all your hard work. You know, you really do. I think there's tremendous value in what you folks bring to the table and supply our local library with. We had a quick discussion before the meeting. I was curious about, you know, on the board, we've heard about long wait times for ebooks. We've also talked about, we've budgeted some money for ebooks and can we funnel particular titles to our own library specifically for our users of the library that are on those lists and looking for that material. Maybe you can let me know what we discussed there and other options that you also brought up, please.
Madam Mayor to Council, the ebook question and the ebook cost is something that is a national concern, and the waiting lists. None of us in the regional systems or Edmonton or Calgary Public Library have been able to come up with a way to completely manage these lists. The costs are prohibitive for a lot of items. For one ebook, It is about $20, but that gives us 25 circulations only. So if we have 500 people on that list, we're buying it multiple times. For an e-audio book, the cost is about $400 per one e-audio book. So the costs have gone up that much. And of course, the more popular it is, the distributors increase the prices accordingly. So we are battling that. One of the ways we're trying to get around it is 10 years ago, we structured our websites to push everybody away from print and into ebooks, thinking that will drop the holds, because it was a problem on print holds. So in October, we're launching a new version of TrackPack, which will integrate the print and the ebook. So people will be able to see that if they're 500th on a list for an e-copy, they might be able to get the print copy from their library immediately, because everything will be displayed on one screen. You will not need to go to 3 different apps to see what your library offers anymore. Libby, Cloud, Hoopla, Track. It'll all be consolidated on one. Now, to Drayton Valley specifically, we would be happy to work with the board and with the staff of Drayton Valley Library on any ebook or e-audio purchases that the board or the staff would like to get. If you have money to put towards that, even better. We will support the staff in how to purchase those items, how to select the items, how to distribute those items and manage it. And we would be happy to do that. If part of these lists include people that have an inability to use conventional prints, and they are using ebooks because of their requirement to use there are other sources for that through NNELS, the National, I'm going to get the acronym. Basically, there's 2 associations in Canada that manage access to non-print materials for people who qualify. There are no limits for them. Basically, if they want a book, they get the book. And the executive director of the program now is working up in Grand Prairie, and we have very good relationships with them. So if this is a concern to support a segment of your population, we can absolutely connect the library staff with the resources that they need to support those community. Did I answer the question?
Yes, you answered the question fantastically. Thank you.
Thank you.
If you don't mind, I'm just going to see, we've got the chair of the board here and a second board member. Do you have any questions? You want to take advantage of having these folks here today, or was the ebooks about all we wanted to cover? There you go.
Because they're popular and the vendors can, and the publishers can.
So the question was, why do audiobooks cost $400?
Yes, thank you. The reason is because they're popular items, and the demand is there, so the publishers and the distributors are looking to make money. And that is why there's 2 groups out in Canada that are have negotiated deals with publishers directly to produce items for those who cannot use traditional print, who are looking for resources, and we can get them moved up in some of these lists faster. Okay? You're welcome.
Do you have the same, like, 20 uses on your license as well?
I am, Madam Mayor, to council and to the chair of the library board, I am not privy to the nature of their license agreement, but they have way more flexibility in working with the publishers than what we do as libraries.
Okay. Thanks for that. Appreciate it.
Does council have any further questions? Councilor Kamana?
Thank you, and I agree with Council Evans' comments. It's a great presentation, and thank you for coming down here. Just wondering about, you mentioned about 2 funding streams. One is levy and the other one is operating grants through provinces. Can you give us a little bit more information about provincial grants, and has it been going up, or what kind of grants you're getting these?
Madam Mayor, to council, we have as Hank mentioned, a dual funding stream. So we get the same operational grant that the Drayton Valley Library Board gets from the province. So they still pay out on outdated population figures at 2019. And they have increased the rate by 5 cents per capita 2 years ago. But there is no guarantee of regular increases or inflationary anything to address inflation. There is a resolution at AB Munis coming up this fall that will be asking for support to require the province and municipal affairs to provide inflationary increases every couple of years and match the current population numbers, which would be of benefit to everybody. I have to pay out to our vendors on our current population numbers. They know because they check what our current population is before they send me the bill. But we're getting funded as if, it was 2019. So there has been an increase. It's not enough to support. And right now, we still get more from the province in terms of the rate than we do from the rate from our municipalities. It's almost even, but it's not quite even yet. So the municipalities were not quite balanced. There is also the City of Calgary, Parkland Regional Library System, and the town of Stettler are presenting to Alberta Municipal Affairs in September about the levy rate and the request for increase on the provincial side.
Oh.
Okay?
Yeah, no, thank you for that.
Thank you.
So one question from me. When can we see the consolidation happening on track that you talked about for the e-books and books and everything? You said those changes are coming?
Madam Mayor, to council, we have engaged our libraries and our boards in how TrackPack should look and feel. And that should be launched in October. Any work for Drayton Valley in terms of purchasing e-resources, we're ready to go whenever Drayton Valley staff are ready to go. So I will go back, actually Josie Wilson, who is currently manager of collections and resource sharing, incoming deputy director for Yellowhead, as Wendy Sears-Ilnicki is retiring in 3 days. She can go back and contact the library staff here to get the ball rolling on whatever purchases are required. So we do a lot of consultation with our library boards and with our libraries directly on the changes. We work with 3 other regional systems in order to make sure that what we're doing meets the needs of the library staff. I'm not sure if I answered the question.
Yeah, no, you had mentioned it earlier, so that's why I just wanted to know when this was happening.
New rollout in October 15th, October 17th? Oh, September 17th. Sorry, it's the only project that we've run with in years that is ahead of schedule,
Well, that's good news.
on budget and ahead of schedule.
Wonderful. Well, if there's no other questions, does administration have any questions? Thank you very much for your presentation. We appreciate you coming. It was wonderful, and yeah, enjoy the sunshine. Thank you. And that wraps up our delegations this morning. So business arising from the delegations, we could have 2 potential motions coming out. The first one would be for a letter of support request, and that would be for the first aid into the school, or the letter going to the Premier, and also to the MLAs that we could CC. Is there a member of council that would like to discuss or make a motion? Councilor Gamana?
Sure, I'll make that motion that we write a support letter for the first aid initiative, and that we CC that letter to all the MLAs.
And Premier. And Premier?
And the Premier, so thank you.
Thank you very much for your motion. Any comment, question, debate on the motion? Just a quick question. Do we have all the information we need to put the letter of support and endorsement together?
Madam Mayor, members of council, I believe we are working with the delegate to make sure that all of the information requested will be involved.
Wonderful. Perfect. Thank you. And once again, I thank you for coming for your wonderful video and your presentation this morning. Looking to see this in and part of the curriculum. I do agree that it is important, and any way that we can help our youth get trained, educated in safety, and then as well as helping assist them with employment is very important. So thank you very much for this great initiative. There is a motion on the floor from Councilor Gamana. I'll now call the motion. All in favor? That is carried. And the next motion would just be to receive the Yellowhead Regional Library 2024 Annual Report as information. Councillor Clark?
I will make the motion that we receive the Yellowhead Regional Library 2024 Annual Report as information.
Thank you very much for that. I will now call the motion. All in favor? That is carried. Thank you very much. That wraps up our delegations. Business arising from that. We'll jump into our decision items this morning. First up is Ms. Lola Strand for 8.1, which is the Youth Advisory Council Terms of Reference amendments for the 2025 Terms of Reference. Good morning and welcome.
Did push, oh, there we go. The Drayton Valley Youth Advisory Committee was established to foster a relationship between the Town of Drayton Valley Town Council and the youth of the Town of Drayton Valley, and this will be accomplished through advocacy, education, and engagement. So the first terms of reference for the Youth Advisory Committee was approved in November 2022. After being established as a committee for the last 2.5, closer to 3 years now, they have reviewed the terms of reference, and the committee is asking to make some changes to that TOR. Some of them are smaller, some not as much so. They felt that under Section 3, to bold the words advisory capacity was important to emphasize that this is not an action committee. Under Section 4A1, to change from 2 to 3 representatives from the school divisions to include a member from the Roots of Resilience Charter School. Under Section 4A2, to change the total number of community youth representatives from 7 to 4. This would account for the additional school representative minus 2 members. Under Section 4A3, to amend the total number of voting Youth Advisory Committee members from 9 to 7. This recommendation is based on a prolonged vacant position and the challenge to have at least 5 members present for quorum. And I just want to remind you that the original terms of reference that I had presented, it was recommended that we have 7 members. We got 9 applications, so council advised that we change the TOR. The committee is advising that we change it back to the 7. Under Section 4C, to remove the limit of terms for the executive positions, we did have a 1-year term. However, the Youth Advisory Committee members agreed that having a longer terms provides more opportunity for the older members to mentor the younger members to eventually fill the executive positions. Under 7.6A, to add half plus 1, just for clarification. Under Section 7C, to add that the chair and the secretary are responsible for completing and circulating the agendas and minutes. We had that staff would do that, but the chair and the secretary have taken on that role. Under Section 8C, to amend the review of the terms of reference to annually instead of specifically each November. And just for your information, an amended version of the Youth Advisory terms of reference is included in the changes in your attachments. So the impact, as far as financial implications go, is that Youth Advisory Committee members receive a $50 honorarium per meeting. By decreasing the number of members, the honorarium budget will decrease, allowing the committee to undertake more initiatives with limited expenses without affecting the overall budget. There are no legal implications identified. As far as organizational implications go, the recommended amendments to the TOR for the Youth Advisory Committee will provide clarity and reflects the observations that have been made by the active members to ensure that the committee runs more effectively. Okay. The recommendation is that council approves the amended 2025 Youth Advisory Committee Terms of Reference as presented in report RFD-25-180.
That's everything?
Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you very much for that. Any questions for Ms. Strand this morning? Just under the change to Section 4A, including the Roots for Resilience Charter School. Can you remind me again, what is the age of our?
14 to 24.
Oh, 14, okay, so yeah.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. And then Roots for Resilience is K to 12, right?
Yes,
That's
that's
correct.
correct.
Okay, perfect. And then also your, under section 4, the recommendation is just for voting to change from 9 to 7. It's just for voting purposes. It wouldn't change that. You can still have 9 advisory committee members?
Their recommendation is that we have 7 total voting committee members as opposed to 9.
Yeah, but you can still have 9 sitting appointed members, and 2 wouldn't have voting. It would just change completely to 7?
It would just change completely to 7.
And that's coming from the committee?
Yes.
Okay. Was there a reason? And the only reason I ask is because I know that we kept upping it. Do we feel like we're going to run into that again when October opens up and organizational meetings
There
start to
has
come?
been a couple of consistent vacant positions.
Okay.
For the last year and a bit.
Yeah. Is there any collaboration with Kickstand?
Yes, Kickstand has came over and done a presentation to the Youth Advisory Committee. Our chair has been over and encouraged the staff there to encourage members of over there to apply to become members of the Youth Advisory Committee. So yes, for sure.
Perfect. Any other questions for Ms. Strand? Is there a member of council who would like to make a motion? Council Sheriffs?
I'll make a motion that council approve the amended 2025 Youth Advisory Committee Terms of Reference as presented in report RFD 25-180.
Thank you very much for that. Any comment, question, debate on the motion? Then I'll call the motion. All in favor? That is carried. Thank you very much. Next up, we have 8.2, Drayton Valley Municipal Library Board Bylaw 2025-01B, and this is for first reading. Ms. Jocelyn Whaley.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. To members of council, administration is starting a comprehensive review of policies and bylaws. Once the memorandum of understanding with the library was passed by council, this triggered a review of the library board bylaw. The recommended changes are in with your report. They are in accordance with the Library Act, except for on page 53, 9.3 should be more than 3 terms or a maximum of 6 years. So just for clarification, now all we're asking for is first reading today, and then it will be circulated formally, as opposed to the informal circulation it's had so far, to the library board for their feedback.
Perfect. Thank you very much for that. Any questions for administration? Councillor Evans?
Yeah, it's come up in conversation on the board. There are 1 or 2, I think, items that they'll be coming to you to try and tweak a little bit. One is the terms, shortening it from 3 to 2.
That was a change that we've just recommended,
Yeah,
so.
and sorry, I'm just reading a note from our,
So can you remember that?
from our chair, and it says,
Or repeat that?
council won't be able to shorten the terms from 3 to 2.
As it's not compliant with the act.
Right, the Provincial Library Act. Nor can it change the 5 to 10 members.
It can. The Library Act states that it can have no fewer than 5 and no more than 10. So council can actually set the number of board members.
And we have changed that, yeah, throughout the years.
Okay, well, I'm just letting you know they'll be having a discussion with you,
They-
Rebecca and Karen, and so there could be a couple of minor
Yeah.
tweaks coming up. That's the only thing I'm trying to point out here at this moment. Thank you.
Perfect, thank you. And this is for first reading, so there'll be that opportunity to have the feedback. And is there anything else that goes to the board and anything else?
This is the only pertinent, we haven't checked for policies yet. Every time we do a new agreement, we check if there's a relevant bylaw that needs to be looked at, and that's how we're triggering our bylaw and policy review currently. So when we, as we said, when we did the memorandum of understanding, this went, okay, we have a bylaw, let's have a look at it, see if it's compliant with what needs to be and when was it last looked at. So if we find a policy, they'll get that too. We'll bring it to you first, though.
Perfect. And then because the library falls under the Libraries Act, This will be for first reading. Do we do a statutory or non-statutory public hearing or anything?
No statutory public hearing is required. Non-statutory is at the discretion of council.
Okay, perfect. Thank you for that. Councillor Gamana, do you have a question or would you like to make a motion?
I'll first ask a question, I guess. So regarding that change to number of times that they can be there, so that's been driven by the changes to the act?
Apologies to the chair, to Councillor Gamana. It actually should have read more than 3. And that was just simply the fact that when we were doing the typing up of changing this bylaw, it was missed, so.
Okay, so I guess my concern is that sometimes it's hard to find board members. And if we cap.
Oh, they cannot, under the act, go longer than that. This was a typo on this document was the 2.
Yeah.
The act states you cannot go more than 3.
More than 3, okay.
Yes.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you. I can make a motion?
Sure, go ahead.
Thank you. I'll make the motion that council gives the first reading to bylaw 2025-01-B, library board bylaw. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that motion. Any comment, question, debate on the motion? Councillor Evans?
The board is aware that after first reading, there is plenty of time to make any changes, so.
Okay, good, perfect. Thank you for that comment. Any other comments? Then I'll call the motion. All in favor? That is carried. Next up, we have 8.3, bylaw 2025-06D. This is for municipal development plan amendments to the future land use bylaw, and this is for third and final reading.
Thank you, Madam Chair. To members of council, a public hearing was held on August 13th, and second reading was given to amendments to the MDP map, bylaw 2025-06D. Feedback from Brazeau County was received regarding the proposed amendments to the future land use map. Brazeau County has no objection with proposed changes to Southeast 1949-7 W5. They do have concerns with the map being depicted for Northeast 1549-7, as it was seen to depict the north half and not just the northeast quarter. An amended map correcting that, as the bylaw states in text, it should be just the northeast quarter, and it is attached for third reading to this report.
Thank you very much for that. So this is an updated map then from?
Yes, Madam Mayor. So on page 83, this parcel is the parcel that is written in text. Unfortunately, while attempting to use the GIS program, it also had included the northwest parcel, and that has now been corrected.
Oh, perfect. Okay.
To match the text in the bylaw.
Okay, wonderful. And that was the only comment received?
Regarding the municipal development plan, yes.
Okay, thank you very much. Any questions for Ms. Whaley? Is there a member of council who would like to make a motion? Councillor Clark?
Yes, I will make the motion that council give third reading to bylaw 2025-06D, municipal development plan with amendments to the future land use map.
Thank you very much for that. Any comment, question, debate on the motion? Then I'll call the motion. All in favor? That is carried. And last decision item is 8.4. This is Ms. Terry this morning. This is for 2025-26 Alberta Community Partnership, and this is our Regional Transportation and Utilities Master Plan. Good morning.
Morning, Madam Mayor and members of council. So Brazeau County and Drayton Valley Administration have been looking into options for transportation and utility master plans. Brazeau County has been in conversations with MPE and have identified there is the potential of a grant through the Alberta Community Partnership Program. This is a regional grant, so it would be a partnership with Brazeau County. MPE, a division of Englobe, is a professional engineering consulting firm. Brazeau County is working with their grant specialists for this project. The partnership between Brazeau County and the town of Drayton Valley is a collaboration where we have shared municipal service delivery in areas such as regional land use, emergency management, transportation, and recreation. The partnership recognizes the importance of safe, viable, and well-maintained municipal infrastructure for the enhanced delivery of these regional services. The primary focus of the project is to ensure we are positioned to address future operational and infrastructure requirements through the development of a regional transportation network plan. As a sustainable and functional road network is essential for long-term municipal viability, economic growth, and attracting investment. Presently, there is a significant concern with the condition and safe usage of road networks. This also includes economic impacts. Examples are barriers of growth and tourism, increasing operational and maintenance costs, and emergency service access. The partnership does not currently have a regional representation of infrastructure condition assessments data, which is critical to provide the partnership a big picture approach for the planning and collaborative transportation network management. This approach to local and regional asset management aligns with and supports the intermunicipal collaboration framework objective that speaks to the importance of regional cooperation for the delivery of vital core municipal services. The Regional Transportation Network Plan project is focused on evaluating the condition of key roads, including all Town of Drayton Valley and Brazeau County roads, collecting and analyzing traffic volumes data to understand the current patterns, peak demand, and capacity issues, identify infrastructure deficiencies, and developing corresponding short and long-term mitigation strategies. Assessing infrastructure upgrades needed to support future residential, industrial, and commercial development, and incorporating all findings into each municipality's 10-year capital plan to ensure alignment between both municipalities' investment priorities and long-range transportation goals. The Regional Transportation Network Plan will also include a transportation infrastructure condition assessment to establish a framework that guides informed decisions on required local and joint improvements. The project is estimated to cost $200,000. No cost share would be required, which will facilitate the partnership undertaking the following activities: collect and review existing reports, plans, drawings, maps, imagery, and other data, conduct a visual inspection and condition assessment of the road network, complete a traffic impact assessment, carry out a geotechnical investigation, conduct a desktop environmental review, and submit a summary report outlining potential environmental constraints, sensitive areas, and regulatory considerations to inform future infrastructure planning. Develop prioritized road network improvements, strategies, and associated order of magnitude cost estimates, facilitate stakeholder engagement sessions to validate technical findings, assess local operational concerns, and support the development of a phased implementation strategy. Integrate recommended network upgrades into each municipality's 10-year capital plan. This information relates to the transportation master plan. However, we would also apply for the utility master plan. This motion reads that Brazeau County will lead project manage on the transportation plan with the Town of Drayton Valley as project participant, then the Town of Drayton Valley being lead project manager for the utility master plan with Brazeau County as the project participant. So we're asking for a motion today, two separate motions today. One that counts that the Town of Drayton Valley supports Brazeau County's management partner submission of a 2025-26 Alberta Community Partnership Grant application in support of the Regional Transportation Network Plan project, and that the Town of Drayton Valley supports the submission of a 2025-26 Alberta Community Partnership Grant application in support of the Regional Water and Wastewater Project Plan, and is prepared to manage the grant project and related compliance requirements. Now I'll open it up for questions. That was a mouthful.
Thank you for your lengthy report. Any questions for Ms. Terry this morning? Councillor Evans?
That's a pretty broad study we're looking at here. So is it going to look at every piece of road in the town, or is it going to concentrate on those interconnected?
All roads.
All roads.
Correct.
So they'll look through our GIS system, or will this consist of physically rolling through every road and doing an assessment? Seems like there's a lot in here for the money. Like it's either crazy good value or I'm missing something a little bit here.
That's how I feel too. I'm like, this is incredibly, I'm all for intergovernmental collaboration, and I think it's fantastic, but this seems too good to be true. So,
Yeah, I agree. I think it's great. Don't get me wrong. It
To
just
to the
looks like a
chair,
lot.
yeah, to the chair and all members of council, this was actually brought to us by the county, them asking to support us. We were actually going to consider a water and wastewater plan, and that would be a second application to the ACP where we would lead it, but they said, well, why not partner on both? And they spoke to their consultants, MPE, and that was where the proposed cost came from. So since this is a zero impact to either budget,
There is no financial obligation on
no
our
financial
part.
obligation,
Wow.
and it won't happen if we don't get the grant. So
Yeah.
this is just asking for council to support that Brazeau County is leading the first and we would lead the second. And Brazeau County has already passed this resolution, so.
Correct.
Okay, and I think it's a real positive that we're looking at the water and wastewater and that interconnection to parts of the county, and I think that bodes well for future grant applications if we have a study that we can point to that points out our shortcomings or our future needs, really, that are gonna be required if we want to up our game and get our system to where it should be. Yeah, I'm in support of making a motion anytime. I think it's great.
Wonderful, thank you. Councillor Gamana, do you have a question?
I do. Just regarding the grant, so 200,000 to do all of this. Just trying to understand again. So it's 200,000 for the town of Drayton Valley, 200,000 for Brazeau County, or 200,000 for the utilities and 200,000 for the transportation?
Will it be
Zero cost. It's two applications, no cost to the county, no cost to the town.
I do understand that, but the grant itself.
200,000 for
One,
the
for-
transportation,
Yes, transportation,
Only.
200,000.
and 200,000 for
the utilities?
water, wastewater.
Oh, okay, so it'll be a 400,000
Yeah.
grant in the end. Okay, yeah, thank you.
And so the grant requesting amount would be for 400,000. Is it a 50, is it a stackable? Is it like we're hoping we get the whole 400,000? Is that why there's no financial obligation?
Correct, yes. Trying to get the full.
Trying to get the full?
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, I think it's wonderful. I mean, it's a great opportunity, and I think that anytime that we can regionally collaborate for our needs and our assets is wonderful. So hopefully we're successful in this, because yeah, as Councillor Evans had mentioned, there's a lot that would be facilitated in this partnership, and yeah, it would be great to have this information in both these areas. So the recommendation is for two motions, and one would be for the regional transportation, and that's, again, the county would be leading, and then the other one would be for the regional water and wastewater, and we would be leading that. Okay, perfect. Councillor Evans, did you want to make a motion? Or two motions, or one, or?
Yeah, am I able to make both motions?
Make them separate.
Separate, though, yeah.
Okay, well, I'll roll with it. I'll make the motion that the town of Drayton Valley supports Brazeau County's, the managing partner, submission of a 25-26 Alberta Community Partnership Grant application in support of the Regional Transportation Network Plan project.
Thank you very much for that motion. Any comment, question, debate on the motion? I would just have one question. So for this Regional Transportation Network Plan, they'll be evaluated in the condition of key roads, including, have we captured any of this already in our asset management plan?
Yes, so that data would be shared.
That would be
as part
shared.
of the supporting documents to support this, yeah.
Okay,
Absolutely.
wonderful, perfect. Councillor Gamana, do you have a question or comment?
Yeah, thank you. Just when we get the grant, would it be handled by in-house, or we would be hiring a consultant to do that? You know, do we have a kind of a roadmap for that?
Through the chair to Councillor Gamana, as the managing partner, Brazeau would receive the grant, and they would tender for the engineer or consulting firm to handle this.
Okay, thank you.
Perfect, thank you. So there is a motion on the floor that the town of Drayton Valley support Brazeau County submission of the 2025-26 Alberta Community Partnership Grant application in support of the Regional Transportation Network Plan project. If there's no further comment, question, debate, I'll call the motion. All in favor? That is carried. And if you would like to make the second motion, Councillor Evans?
I'd be happy to.
Thank you.
I'll make the motion that the town of Drayton Valley supports the submission of a 2025-26 Alberta Community Partnership Grant application in support of the Regional Water and Wastewater Plan Project and is prepared to manage the grant project and related compliance requirements.
Perfect. Thank you very much for the motion. Any comment, question, debate on the motion? I'll call the motion. All in favor? That is carried. Thank you very much. We'll take a 10-minute break and we'll reconvene around 10:27 and jump into council reports. And that wraps up our decision items for this morning. Back at 10:28 a.m. And as I said, that wraps up our decision items for this morning. I'll move us into council reports. First up is Councillor Evans. Oh, I wasn't. Everybody's always so surprised. And I can go to Councillor Gamana if you'd like.
That's fine.
You'll quickly
I'll go
figure
over
out
my stuff.
what you've done over the last couple of weeks.
Oh, no, I gotta look. I had my board meetings and stuff ready here, but there's others as well. Okay, well, I'll start with what the Sustainability Committee is up to right now. We went over food bank collection, and Councillor Clark and I have been working on starting that. That involves trying to get some folks together who, I explained this to the mayor earlier and it seemed to make sense to me. Anyway, we're going to have some kids collecting not only candy, but stuff for the food bank while they're out trick-or-treating, and we'll get a few trucks out there to accept whatever donations they get and keep them rolling along. We'll just pop over a couple of blocks and then meet them, unload them, and keep them going. So I think the plan is to do that for a couple hours on that night, and then hopefully we'll end up with a good stack of food for the food bank. We also went over the creating a new town tips for your sump pumps. Instead of putting them into our sewer system, pumping them out on your lawn or elsewhere, so we don't get so overloaded. That'll be one town tips, and then frequently asked questions, what they are, what we're trying to accomplish with these things when they're attached to folks' utility bills every month or two. Hans was going to, Whitecourt has a park with a bunch of amenities in it that attracts quite a bit of attention. A lot of tourists stop in there and stuff. He's going to talk to them about what's in their park, and possibly we could consider integrating some of that stuff into one of ours. We went over lanterns on the pond, just the final preparations for that, and everything looks good there. We're ready to go. We had a presentation on the food cycler program. So that'll be coming to council at some point in the future to see if we want to support that again. Looks like it's going to possibly cost a little money this time, but we'll see what they bring to council. I think that's about it for the Sustainability Committee. Oh, I'm working with the North Saskatchewan Watershed Alliance to screen their film. Just need to get back to them and find out sort of what's going to work for them for timing. They were tweaking the film just a little bit, so they needed a little time. And I'll have a follow-up report on that once I have a date and who maybe they're going to bring along to do an introduction of it. Okay. The Municipal Library Board, we go over so much stuff in that board meeting, but a couple of things. They're making very good progress on a safety plan, which is something we've been looking at for quite a while, and finally we've sort of embraced it, and they're putting together looks like a pretty good comprehensive plan. And of course, the MOU came up, and we've discussed that today. There'll be a couple of tweaks there. So aside from those, I have also, let me see. Sorry, you caught me off guard here. I think that is going to be about it for me, other than the meeting with Minister Bochenko on the 22nd. Yeah, and then our meeting with Food Bank representative on Tuesday, just to discuss how we can make this food collection initiative work. And that's it for me.
Perfect, thank you very much for that.
Thank you.
Just 2 questions for you, just for information to the public. Can you remind us again of the date for Lanterns on the Pond?
September 5th.
September 5th, so that's coming up next Thursday. And time?
Hang on.
And that's still at Northview Pond, right?
Yes.
Perfect.
So that's next Friday, not Thursday.
Oh, sorry, that's next Friday.
Yeah, and,
No, is it the?
yeah,
Oh, it
September
is the
5th is a
Okay.
Friday.
That's right. Okay, so November 5th is Lanterns on the Pond, Friday?
September 5th.
Or, what did I say?
I think you said November.
Okay, so.
That's
just
what I
to-
heard, but
just to
I could be
correct
wrong,
that,
too.
Next Friday, which is September 5th, the Northview Pond will be Lanterns on the Pond. Sustainability Committee is leading that. Thank you very much for that. And I'm sure we'll have a fantastic turnout. The weather looks like it'll be nice. Second question is, you had mentioned the food cyclers. Do we not have some that are still available?
That I don't know. We do? I
Okay.
see some nodding heads over there.
We do, Madam Chair, 2 models.
Okay. Oh, just 2 models?
No, two models, we have several of each.
Oh, we still do each. Okay, so,
And now they have a new model that they presented to us on, so
so maybe.
I'm not sure how many, do we have a ton kicking around still? Less than 20. So I think in the end, we directed them to work with administration and bring something back to council, their new model and what it does and the cost of it, et cetera. So at that point in time, council can decide whether we want to just push the remaining 20, whether we want to purchase some of the new ones, and try and get them out to the community or what. So, yeah, that'll be coming to council.
As a recommendation?
Yeah.
Perfect, thank you very much for that. So next up is Councillor Clark, no surprises.
No surprises, I'm ready. So Councillor Evans stole a lot of my thunder there, so don't have to spend a ton of time. The only thing was, just Sustainability Committee set up the meet and greet with Food Bank, kind of get that ball rolling. Did also meet with Minister Bochenko, and then lastly had a Recreation Master Plan 10-year plan kickoff meeting, so we're starting that process on that front, and lots to go through with that, so that's all I had.
Perfect, thank you for your report. Councillor Gamana.
Thank you. Not a whole lot to report. Just the on the 13th McMahon 50th anniversary celebrations. I was there. The McMahon as an organization, they started 50 years ago in Alberta. In Drayton Valley, it's a little bit less than that. So, they were having a barbecue to celebrate that. On the 14th, Skate Park Jam, once again, it was a successful skate park jam. There was lots of youth involved with that as well. So kudos to the organizers for that. 25th, joint town and Star Catholic School Board meeting, discussed about their plans and how we can help with their plans to improve education in our community. Other than that, just a reminder about the Cricket Carnival that's coming up on September 6th at the old El Dorado grounds. This is the 4th annual Cricket Carnival. If you like to watch cricket or want to know what cricket is all about, just come down and have a look. It's going to be an interesting tournament this year as well. As Councillor Evans mentioned, 5th Lanterns on the Pond, 6th Cricket Carnival. Thank you.
Perfect, thank you for your report. Deputy Mayor Sheriffs.
Thank you. So I have a little bit more than I did last time. Like Councillor Gamana said, the McMahon 50th Anniversary Barbecue, Skate Park Jam. On the 15th, we had the charity golf tournament update about what we have collected from the donors, and I don't know, can I see the numbers? Right,
For the,
for the golf tournament?
yep,
So we got just over 70,850 split 3 ways, going through 3 different charities. So after expenses, each one got 17,599, which I think was a absolute wonderful turnout, and it was a lot of fun. On the 18th, business creation with Rural Wealth, there was 2 speakers, one from Westlock, and he's the CEO that opened the original terminal. They started purchasing from CN Rail, and he went on about how it evolved and distillery eventually. It was really good. And the second one was Gordon from Estevan, talking about Tech Hub. I don't know much about that, but it sounded very interesting. And then on the 20th, I had a Zoom meeting with Alberta Air Hub Committee, and yeah, on the 25th, the joint meeting with Star Catholic. That's about it.
perfect. Thank you for your report. For me as well, things are starting to get back to business as usual. I did attend the McMahon 50th anniversary as well. It was nice to see. I think that our local programs have been offering it for about 20 years, I think that she had mentioned, just over 20 years in our community. It was hard to believe that McMahon was celebrating 50 years. I didn't realize, I thought it was 50 years here initially until I got the whole story, so thank you for that, Councillor Germana. I attended the skate park jam and had the opportunity with, as well as Councillor Germana, to be interviewed by our Youth Advisory Council. So those are always the interviews that you get a little bit nervous because you never know what they're going to ask you for questions. So we had to improvise a little bit, and you had to get creative because it was like, oh, it made you think on your toes. So I really appreciate that they're getting out there and engaging with the community and engaging with the youth, and they really looked like they were enjoying it. So kudos to them, a good job on them. I had attended, I guess, and kicked off our first Mayor's Task Force Committee, which was great. I want to thank everyone on the committee for being involved. We do have 5 community members at large, so it's nice to see new faces on this committee, as well as the commitment to being at the table. So thank you to those members. Again, the charity golf debriefing that we had, as Monica, Deputy Mayor Sheriffs had mentioned, we did raise a lot of money for 3 great causes. Those 3 great causes were the Stolleries Purple Lights campaign and the Drayton Valley Hospitality Foundation Sim Lab. So very excited to see those dollars being raised and to go to those great causes. I had a few business meetings in and throughout the community, as well as a meeting with MLA, or I guess now Minister Bachenko. I attended the street party on Friday evening, which was fantastic. The weather was beautiful. There was a great attendance there. They'd switched it this year a little bit, the design and the layout, so it was really nice. I think it was attended by a lot of people, so it was nice. A big thank you to the Drayton Valley Community Foundation, all the volunteers, all the sponsors, all the businesses, everybody that makes that happen, because it's fantastic to see the community come together. And then also the Star Catholic meeting as well. They're looking at potential new school site locations, so we had a meeting with them recently too. And that is it for my report. Is there a member of council that would like to make a motion to receive council reports as information? Council Sheriffs?
I'll make a motion that council accept the council reports as information.
Bit of a tongue twister. Thank you
Right?
very much for that. All in favor? That is carried. And we'll move into 10, agenda item 10 for council items. First up is 10.1, which is the council calendar. I was a bit confused because it goes 10 and then it goes 12.2. That's why I was like,
Apologies, Madam Mayor, members of council. The computer program that we use to generate your agendas seems to have glitches.
she's stuck on 12?
It's stuck on 12, absolutely stuck on 12, so.
So 10.1 is our council calendar, which you've presented to us.
Yes, I'd just like to ask 2 things of council. One, the September 3rd Governance and Priorities Committee, we don't have any agenda items for that. So at the pleasure of council, could you consider canceling it? The other request for cancellation on a much more significant level is that you have scheduled previously a October 22nd regular meeting of council, at which point that would have followed the municipal election and no council would have been sworn in. So we cannot legally have that meeting.
Okay, so the two changes, so are you needing two motions for these?
I believe you can do it in one motion,
We
ma'am.
can do it in
Just-
one motion, okay,
yeah.
so that would be, a recommendation would be for the cancellation of the GNP committee meeting on Wednesday, September 3rd, and for the cancellation of the October 22nd regular meeting of council.
Yes, ma'am, thank you.
Okay, Councillor Clark?
I will make the motion that September 3rd Governance and Priorities Committee meeting is canceled, as well as the October 22nd regular meeting of council also be canceled.
All right, thank you very much for that. Any comments, question, or debate on that? Councillor Cabana, did you have something you were looking, maybe you wanted to add? No? Okay, then I'll call the motion. All in favor? That is carried. And then just a question for this events, because I don't see like the lanterns on the pond. Are we including all of those kind of things on here for September 5th? I see, or is this the events calendar that the public, like how? I can't remember.
Madam Chair, I believe this is the calendar more relevant to council specifically. Individual committee and events are not generally included, but can be.
Okay, just because I'm seeing the cricket carnival, that's why I thought, oh.
I believe a formal invitation for that, but since the
Oh.
Sustainability Committee is a committee of
Internal?
council, we can absolutely put
Okay,
lanterns
so
of the
maybe
pond on
just,
it.
yeah, for any internal committees and things like that, we could include our events and things like that on there. Is there anything else that anybody can think of that we have coming up that you might have mentioned? We do have the election on here. Go ahead, Councillor Clark.
Do we have a date for those running again in the next election for the forum?
Through the chair to Councillor Clark, I believe the Chamber of Commerce is hosting a forum. We've been supplying the date or the contact information for the chamber to anyone who has submitted paperwork. I believe yours came in before the request by the chamber did though, so we will get that information to you. I apologize.
I believe it's October 9th, Thursday, October 9th, I thought I seen somewhere.
We'll circulate that to any candidate whose nomination papers have been submitted.
Perfect, thank you for that. Okay, so if there's nothing else on the calendar, Deputy Sheriffs?
The rural wealth creation, that whole day thing that they had, that had to be rescheduled.
Yeah.
I got an email yesterday that it will be now on Wednesday, September 17th, from 9 to 4. So I don't know if anybody else has it in their calendar.
Yeah, I just seen that this morning as well.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Okay, thank you for that. Next up would be 10.2, roundtable discussions. What does everyone have? I just want to give a big thank you to Ms. Terry and her team for the completion of the 50th project. It looks absolutely fantastic. I was excited to drive down the road and see it completed on time, just in time before schools got back. So that's a big relief. And considering all the rain and everything else, thank you to the team for making this happen. It looks great. It feels great to drive on. I like what we're doing with the rain guards and what's the other word I'm looking, bioswales and everything like that. I think it's coming along. It's beautiful. The rocks and things like that look great. As well as when I had came back into the community last weekend, just seeing all the lawns cut and potholes were being filled. I see we're started construction for some of those big areas in the community. So that is good because I know it's been a topic of concern. We've been hit with a larger than normal amount of potholes this year. So I know that it's been communicated to the residents that we're dealing with subgrade issues and not just a matter of filling. So I see that they're out filling those bigger ones right now, which is great, and flowers are being watered. So just thank you as we come at the end of summer. A great job to you and the team. And I know that sometimes you get beat up a little bit, but yeah, we appreciate the efforts and everything like that, and keep filling those potholes and cutting the lawn and everything. So thank you, just a shout out to you and the team for that. Does anybody else have anything for roundtable discussions? Councillor Clark?
I can't remember what street it is, but right next to Wendy's there, where Atco dug up the road. Do they have plans to fill that before the snow flies, though it is?
Oh, so is it gravel still? Oh. Okay, and that's a really good point, Colin, that was not the town of Drayton Valley,
Yeah.
that was Atco, that big hole there by, by Wendy's. And by Matador as well. That's another Atco. Was that one fixed as well? Okay, perfect. Did you have anything else, Councillor Clark? Maybe just in addition to that, North End Petro-Canada, there was the subgrade and there's gravel all there now. Has that been built up there, kind of by the big flower beds as you come to?
Yes, so they're just doing prep work on all of them right now, and then the paper will come.
Oh, so they'll do it all at once. Okay, so that one's been completed. Now the one on 50th and 50th is being built there.
They're actually at Scotiabank.
Oh, they're at the Scotiabank now. Okay. So there was 4 big ones, or 5? McDonald's? Scotiabank? Industrial Road and 50th? Oh, North Entrance Valley Drug Mart, that's right. Yeah, okay, perfect. Any other questions, concerns? Councillor Evans?
Just a small comment, 50th and 50th. If we can look at that little pile of bush there that leaves everything in shade through the winter.
We talked to the guys about that, and even our team, it's, there's another tree and bush, and then just up the road from there, we don't have that issue there, so we don't believe that that's the cause.
Okay, you'll see. Thanks.
You'll see. Thank you for that. Okay, if nobody else has anything else, that wraps up council items. We do have 2 information items. One is 11.1, which is a response letter from Minister Show. 11.2 is allocation of CCHF, and this is from the Minister of Municipal Affairs. Is there a member of council who would like to receive these as information or make a motion to receive these as information? Council Sheriffs?
Just wing it again. I'll make a motion that we accept the 2 letters from the ministers for information.
Perfect. Thank you very much for that. All in favor? That is carried. And now we will need a motion for us to move into closed. Is there a member of council who would like to make a motion to move us into closed? Councillor Clark?
I will make the motion that council move in closed session at 10:50 a.m. in accordance with Section 19 of the Access to Information Act.
Perfect. Thank you very much for that. I'll call the motion. All in favor? That is carried.